They're really good.
It broke within a year.
They're I think they're most I've seen them at is $50, and you can get them on Amazon within like the day, within like the week. Yep.
All right. I got a few things I need to talk about.
Are we recording?
Maybe.
Nice and dickin'. We pop out at 1 a.m. Johnny.
All right, Johnny. Well, I want to get your opinion on like the political and economical state of the world right now.
Bro.
I'll just
Please
say
tell us your
one
thoughts.
thing. I'll just say one thing. It's pretty dickin' right now. Not gonna lie.
What do you mean by that?
You know what does that mean?
That just means it's pretty dickin'. You could say it means however you want it to mean. You know. So.
Jahir had some thoughts about the Johnny. Did I show you the Zelensky thing or no? I think I did at some point.
He's the prime minister, right?
He's the president, right?
President.
What do they call him? The president or the
Diplomatic.
No, I'm pretty sure they call him the president in Ukraine.
The leader. He's their leader.
You did see that video, right?
I don't think I did.
Jahir saw that video.
I saw the video.
What did you think about the video?
I'm very passionate about that video because regardless of all this political, whatever what is it? Yeah, whatever they say, whatever they discussed, there are ways to approach other human beings and other men. And I thought that the way they approached him, Trump and Vance, they were just super rude, disrespectful, condescending. I mean, it made me physically upset because when people talk down to me like that, it pisses me off. And they were calling him ungrateful, telling him that he was playing with World War III or whatever, like basically threatening him. And, his country's been in war for the last, 2 years? Almost 3 years.
Longer than that.
They got invaded by Russia, and I'm pretty sure it's still going.
Yep, still going.
That just, they're already in a vulnerable position. And you got these people, these two dudes bullying him in a submission, basically. So I was just like,
pretty much they're like,
it's really off-putting.
Vance was like, haven't said sorry today.
Yeah,
I mean, no, wait, not sorry.
You haven't said thank you once.
Thank you today. I've said thank you a lot. Well, not today. You gotta say thank you right now. That's actually so like.
Or they said something else. It was like, they were like, oh, why don't you speak? You have nothing to say. And then he started talking. He's like, well, if you let me explain. They were like, no, you've talked enough today. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what are they doing?
And then Zelensky was like, have you been to Ukraine? He was like, I've seen the videos. Like,
yeah.
Bro, like, have you seen videos on Twitter, bro, or what?
I don't know. I mean,
he hasn't even been to Ukraine.
It's really frustrating as a dude to see, the disrespect.
But a lot of people were saying that like Zelensky was the one like that fucked up.
That started it. What'd he do? I didn't look into it enough to like.
Just like the conversation, they were saying that Zelensky was the one that was like provoking. But I don't.
It's because those dudes
see it that way.
They're intelligent men, but when you get down to brass tacks, they're just old dudes. Well, at least Trump is. He's just an old guy. He's just an old white guy. So when you poke him, he's probably really easy to provoke.
Yeah.
He probably gets mad like that, and then the other dude is probably just egging him on. Even though I've seen videos of JD Vance in the past saying that he would never support Trump. That Trump was
America's Hitler. America's next Hitler.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of hypocrisy right now in the world, and especially in.
What do you think about that, John?
Your own country? Nothing. That's something you want to drop a note about. That's totally fine.
You can just say no.
He's our mystery guest today, just shaking his head, shaking his cheeks on the podcast.
But okay, so yeah, I don't know about those. Like the Zelensky stuff was, I mean, I think it was pretty bad.
It was bullying.
You know what? Also, what's also crazy is that after the Zelensky stuff, like, I think all of Europe, like, pretty much was like, holy shit, like. I don't think we can count on the U.S. anymore.
No, exactly, because of the way they treated this guy who's supposed to be an ally. And I mean, I've always been of the mindset that Putin doesn't necessarily respect Trump, how Trump makes it seem. I think Trump is on Putin's, I think he's very, I think he shows Putin a lot of love, a lot of support, and that's why Putin just kind of leaves him be. I think Trump is more scared of Putin than Putin.
Is scared of Trump?
Than he claims to be, than Trump claims Putin to be.
Dude, did you see like when he was like when Trump was like telling the media that he was like, me and Putin, like we went through the Russia we went to that, and he had to go through that, and we went through it together, as if like they're like buddy buddies.
As if he's Russian. I mean,
as if he's like super like good friends with him,
like his comrade. Yeah,
like, can you believe like Putin had to go through that, guy? It's like, oh my god.
He
like,
claims that Putin respects him, that Putin is, I guess, in a way afraid of him, that he's like, but Putin. I mean, Putin's a very strong, intelligent man, and so I don't think that relationship is what they lead it on to be.
Wait, what does it say that like? What does it say when like you have the like right after that meeting, like Donald Trump stopped the aid going to Ukraine and stopped sharing intelligence with them.
Yeah. I mean, that's
pretty
huge.
crazy.
Yeah,
dude.
that's huge.
Like just because like he got angry at Zelensky, he literally stopped
Helping them.
He literally stopped helping them and like stopped sharing intelligence to them.
I mean, that's politics. Is to me just old, angry, petty men.
That's insane.
Trying
Like,
to get
imagine
back
if
at
like
each
Joe
other.
Biden did that.
And they're mad when
Imagine if
women
Joe
try to
Biden
get
did
in on
that.
that. Yeah, if Joe Biden did that, they'd be like, this dude's a psychopath.
Dude, did you hear about the
Senile.
messages leaks, the signal leaks?
The what?
The signal leaks?
No.
You didn't hear about that?
No, what is that?
Holy shit, dude.
Educate me.
You didn't hear about the classified information that was leaked in a Signal group chat? You know Signal, right? Like the app?
No.
Signal is like a texting app.
Okay. Who texts on there?
Like people just download it. It's like, I think it's probably the best like encrypted like messaging app that you can find. And the Secretary of State, those are like the top officials were in this group chat. So you're talking about like
In Trump's group chat?
Trump was not in the group chat,
Oh.
but JD Vance was in the group
Oh,
chat.
no.
I think the Secretary of State was in the group chat. Marco Rubio was in the group chat.
Was
The
Pete
National
Hegseth in there?
Security Advisor Mike Waltz was in the group chat, and supposedly Tulsi Gabbard was in the group chat.
They were talking about Trump?
And no, they were talking about like literal military plans of
What?
bombing Yemen in the Houthis in Yemen.
What?
So they were talking about like here.
Why?
Let's go, we can go through it. And they accidentally added a reporter.
Oh,
They
no.
added accidentally added a reporter to the group chat
How does that happen?
where they
How
were
do you-
literally discussing like classified information.
Yeah, they were discussing bombing another country.
Like, look at this. This is like, and the guy was the journalist was from the Atlantic, and he released like everything.
This
He
is
released like all the
Michael Waltz.
screenshots.
Team, establishing a principals group for coordination on Houthis. Is that how you say it?
Houthis. Yeah.
Particularly for over the next 72 hours. My deputy, Alex Wong, is pulling together a Tiger team at deputy/agency chief of staff level following up from the meeting in the sit room this morning for action items and we'll be sending that out later. Goddamn run-on sentence.
Okay, now hold on. Let me
Michael
go
Waltz.
to the crazy stuff. Okay. By the way, right after this, oh shit, hold on. This is not even
I just write some random ass bullshit.
Maybe
Maybe you could read it. Would you care to do that for us, please? Read it.
Oh wait, no, I think it is one.
Be our popcorn reader for the day.
Okay. Here we go. Ready?
Please. Yeah, let's do it.
Team update right here. Look, this is Pete Hegseth,
Hegseth.
right? Discussing classified information on Signal, dude, in front of a fucking reporter. That should not be in this conversation.
Weather is
So
favorable.
team update time now 11:44 ET.
East
Weather is favorable. Just confirmed with CENTCOM. We are a go for mission launch. 12:15 ET. F-18's launch of first strike package. 13:45 trigger based F-18 first strike window starts. Target terrorist is at his known location, so should be on time. Also, strike drones launch MQ-9s. 14:10 more F-18s launch. Like these are like military plans. Like this is a military plan here. This is obviously confidential, right? And they were put in front of Congress, like Tulsi Gabbard and Mike Waltz, because Mike Waltz was the one that added the reporter to this conversation. That should not have been in this conversation. And they said that none of this was classified information. Like they were like, no, none of this is classified information, guys. How could you actually how do you say that this is not classified information?
Classified?
How is this
12:15
ET F-18's launch first strike package? Like these are like, this is so obvious that it's classified information.
You got caught, boy. You got caught.
Like just imagine if like Joe Biden, like if this happened under Joe Biden, just imagine like the outrage the Republicans would have.
It would have blown up.
It would have been like, you know exactly what Donald Trump would be saying on Truth Social. Like you'd be like, Sleepy Joe
doesn't know. He doesn't know how to use a messaging app.
Like they would have been like, he's like compromising our national security, and that he needs to
quite literally.
go and he needs to be impeached.
He needs
and
to
that
be
this
put
would
in a
have never
mental
happened if it was
asylum.
under him.
Yeah.
Like he would, for a fact, he'd be saying.
Yeah, 100%.
And then they were like,
how does this happen? This I don't know if that happens by accident. How do you
Yeah.
just accidentally add someone to your group chat?
Yeah. And then apparently Mike Waltz, the guy that added the national security advisor, he was like, I don't even know who this guy is. He's the one that added him, and he's like, I don't even know who he is.
What the?
So you're telling me the national security advisor that added this guy to the group chat doesn't even know
who the guy he added.
who
Wow.
he doesn't even know like who's in his contact list and who's not?
Ridiculous.
That's actually insane.
Absolutely ridiculous.
And they're like pressing the Trump administration to like take responsibility and to like somebody needs to get fired for this.
Yeah, for sure. Someone
And
does.
like JD Vance like was on like he had like I think he had like a what do they call, not meeting, but it was like a speech. He's like, if you guys think you guys are gonna force us or force the president to fire somebody, you guys got another thing coming.
Is that a threat?
Pretty much saying like, if you guys think that you're gonna force us to take like responsibility for all this stuff, we're not going to.
They're not going to do that.
But like,
Wow.
you know, like for a fact,
That's
if this happened under
ridiculous.
Biden, like, you know, for a fact
Yeah. I mean,
that
there was, like,
everybody, including me, would be like, what the fuck just happened here?
so much outrage. Obviously, because it happened, you know, they're going to take a bias. They're going to have a bias. The right wing, they're going to say, you know, well, this was just a common mistake. It's an accident. It really wasn't
This is
confidential.
exactly what they're fucking saying, dude.
And
Oh, like,
they're
you know
gonna-
what Fox News was saying, bro? They're like, you guys know, like, when you add somebody in your group chat that, you know, you accidentally add and
I
shouldn't
don't
be
do
there.
that. That doesn't
Bro,
happen.
what
You
do
don't
you-
just
that's
randomly
not,
add
like-
people to group chats by accident.
This is not, like, the same. Like, this is not nowhere near, like, a regular American citizen is not nearly as, has the same, like, responsibility as
yeah, no, this
the
is
vice
huge.
president or the national security advisor. Like,
That's what I'm saying. Maybe it happened on purpose.
and the problem is not that they added Mike Waltz or that they added the Atlantic
reporter?
reporter. That's not the problem. The problem is that they're discussing confidential and classified information on Signal.
Yeah.
Like Signal, and they were literally saying, like, when they were like testifying in Congress, they were literally saying, well, Signal is actually preloaded into our phones. And it's like, no fucking shit. Like, you have Google Maps loaded into your fucking phone too, right?
Exactly.
But like, you don't use Signal to communicate through classified information.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
But yeah, like, I don't think
That's very
anybody is gonna like. They're not gonna take responsibility for this, obviously.
true. And no one's gonna make them.
No, and
So-
they're not gonna fire anybody. Probably.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if they fired Mike Waltz, the guy that added him. I'd be surprised if they did that.
Yeah.
But you
So,
know
yeah.
for a fact Donald Trump's not gonna take he's not
No,
gonna take
no,
responsibility.
of course not. He's not even.
And he didn't even know that this happened. Like, the reporter asked him, like, after this, like, when this actually happened and they were reporting on it, a reporter asked Donald Trump if he had heard about it, and he was like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh.
Like, this is the first time you're telling me.
This is wild.
So Donald Trump is not like,
the president
he
doesn't even know what's
happening.
going on. Yeah,
It's insane.
that's
But
wild. That's actually really wild.
what do you think? What do you think, Johnny?
What can you say about that?
Tell us your thoughts right now.
Please,
Say something.
anything. You can't just shrug your shoulders and shake your head. You've been doing that for the last 30 minutes. Damn, this is really unfortunate.
Yeah, there's just a bunch of stuff that's just like so hypocritical that's going on right now. And honestly, I think this is probably the most like politically active I've ever been, ever. But I think it's because like it's pretty crazy stuff's happening.
It's
right
pretty
now, I
crazy
think.
stuff that involves us. I mean, I've never been too much into politics. I've never been want to get too political, but when stuff like that really pops off, I mean, you know, it's kind of hard to ignore it because you're like, this is national security being compromised because of the incompetence of one guy, and no one's going to take responsibility for it, which kind of sets the example as a U.S. citizen of, you know, like, well, if they don't have to be responsible for their actions, why do I?
Yeah, and you know how like they talk about like you know how Trump talks about like DEI and how everybody should be hired based on merit
Yeah,
and that like
which I can agree.
I can agree with that too.
Yeah.
But like you're talking about like, have you seen his cabinet?
Yeah.
Like Pete Hegseth, like an ex Fox News reporter.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me, dude? Like, you're gonna talk about like hiring people based on merits, and then you, like, that's your
You bring a
cabinet.
yes man in there.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, and then like Tulsi Gabbard, the same thing. RFK, the same thing. Like,
I mean-
none of these people are remotely qualified enough to be in the positions that they're in.
I mean, you want to talk about qualified for your position? Look at Elon Musk. I mean, who voted for
Yeah.
Elon Musk?
And he's
Absolutely
literally in
nobody.
cabinet meetings talking more than the fucking cabinet members,
Yeah.
and he's not even elected.
He's not elected.
Whatever, dude. Like,
That's something else that gets my attention a lot. I mean, this guy, Donald Trump has constantly complained about people from other countries and how he doesn't want people from other countries, that this is America. And now, you know, you got someone from Canada who should really have no say. I'm not trying to, you know, alienate him, but he should really have no say.
wait, Canada?
Elon Musk?
Elon's from Africa, no?
Isn't he
He's
from
from
Canada?
South Africa.
He is from South Africa.
Yeah.
I thought he was Canadian.
Nope.
No. Well, he's not from the United States.
He's not
He's not from the United
he's
States.
not born here, no.
He's not U.S. born.
And apparently he was he actually I think he overstayed his visa and he was here illegally at one point.
Which is what Trump, he claims that, it's not about being from another country, just doing things the wrong way. Well, that's someone who at one point did things the wrong way.
Yeah.
But because of all his money and all his power, he gets a free pass from Donald Trump,
Oh, yeah, pretty much.
That's kind of wild to think about.
Actually, I think Johnny would have some input on this topic about the Donald Trump meme coin scam.
Let's
Donald
hear
Trump
about
has
it.
been very vocal to me about the meme coin scam, Johnny. Please, I need you to talk about it. I actually think the meme coin scam is absolutely crazy, dude.
What happened with that?
So Donald Trump launched a coin a meme coin to enrich himself.
What the?
You didn't know about this?
No.
Holy shit, dude. He launched a fucking meme coin. Him and his wife, Melania Trump. They both launched meme coins just to make money. Like, you can see, like, that none of that is going to campaign funds. Like, if you look at the small text, you see that all this is for Trump himself.
What?
Yeah. So, like, this is, like, not, like... You're talking about the president of the United States is launching meme coins
What's the coin
to get
called?
money. It's called the Trump meme coin or something. I literally think it's called the Trump meme coin.
Because I've heard about, Bitcoin or cryptocurrency scams, but I would never have expected the president of the United
President of the
States
United States is literally doing this now.
with all his
like,
money
in broad daylight. Like,
and he got caught.
Yeah. Like, people literally, like, make, like are so angry about people in, like, the government that make money. And then you literally have Donald Trump.
Isn't that fraud?
Huh?
Isn't that fraud? Can he be arrested for that or no?
I don't think so. I mean, I doubt it now.
Let's hear something.
Yeah, no.
What do you think about this?
Oh my god.
All right, well, I mean, we can cut it out. Like, if you talk and you don't like what you say, we could just cut it out, clip it out.
Why don't you want to talk? You're scared?
Bro, in mute, he's
What are
just
you
like
scared of?
shrugging and
You're not
shaking
even
his
on
head,
camera, Johnny.
pointing, nodding, shaking his head.
Yeah,
that.
Yeah, we literally have.
All right, bro.
Just imagine if Hillary Clinton did something like this, dude.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
The scandal.
The scandal, dude. They would hire a fucking. They would put like a special what's it called, a special counsel. They would get a special counsel to investigate her.
Yeah.
And like you wouldn't hear the end of it.
No.
Like
for
from
sure.
like people like Ben Shapiro. And
Yeah.
I've lost a lot of respect for Ben Shapiro because he's so soft on Donald Trump nowadays.
Well, he's just kind of like super. I don't know. Like, I used to think that he was really about just free speech in general, and like everyone gets to say their part. But he's just super biased in the sense that he won't let other people.
I've lost a lot of respect for Ben because right now it seems to me like he's lacking so much like integrity in like calling all this shit out.
Yeah.
And I hold him to a higher standard because he fucking knows better.
But
He knows better.
Because before that, I would always see him. I think I'm pretty sure because I would watch his videos all the time. He at one point he even said he's not pro-Trump. He's just in his eyes the lesser of two evils. But rather than calling his own president out and making it known that he disagrees with some of this policy or some of this stuff that's going on, he just kind of backed down and just lets him do his thing, which is it's kind of frustrating to see because you would want to see it get better, but it's not going to get better like that.
Yeah, it's
right.
There
is somebody here, by the way, but they're
a little shy.
They're a little shy, a little camera shy. Well, not even camera shy because there's no camera on them. But
yeah, just like did you hear about the like Trump trying to deport the Tren de Aragua people?
No.
So Donald Trump is like grabbing so-called Tren de Aragua. It's a gang from Mexico. It's a Mexican gang, and he's grabbing them, and he's saying that they're Tren de Aragua gang members, and he's putting them on planes and deporting them to what was it? I don't want to get this wrong.
It's not Mexico.
No, El Salvador. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Prison in El Salvador. Okay, yeah, no, I thought it was El Salvador. Okay. So he's grabbing them and sending them to El Salvador. And he is so basically he's doing this, but he's providing zero evidence of them being who he says they are. And so he's not giving any of them due process. And some of them are claiming there's reports and some of them are claiming that they're not Tren de Aragua gang members,
Wow.
and that some of them are saying that they're actually fleeing from Tren de Aragua, from the actual gang itself, and we don't know if the people that he's sending to El Salvador are actually those members because they haven't provided any evidence that they are, like that all of them are. And so they're just being sent over there to El Salvador, to the El Salvador prison without any due process. And there was a TRO granted, which is like pretty much TRO is a temporary restraining order that says what you're doing right now you have to stop until we sort it out, pretty much.
Wow.
And then so the TRO was set, like it was accepted by a judge, or the judge what is it called, like he granted a TRO, and he was like, if you have any planes in the air right now, you need them to turn around, and no other planes can be going to El Salvador right now. And they didn't listen to the TRO, so they just violated a court order.
Wow.
And then they had to go. I'm pretty sure the Trump administration literally had to go before the court. They went before the court, and they were explaining to the judge, like they were trying to explain to the judge why they did not comply with the TRO. And they were literally saying one of their arguments was that the court lacks jurisdiction. After the plane leaves the United States, the court no longer has jurisdiction.
Wow. It's wild.
Like that's like, just think about that for a second.
Yeah, that's wild.
Like you're telling me that if they grab me and deport me to fucking El Salvador, you're telling me that they could just do whatever they want with me and the court can't say anything about it?
It's wild work. I'm not gonna lie.
That's crazy.
That's actually really crazy.
And I have two little clips here. I think they're like a minute long or something. That I wanted to play.
I mean, I was thinking too. I mean, because obviously you can't believe everything. And
yeah, you can't believe everything.
Obviously, if some of these people really are gang members and criminals,
obviously, yeah,
they're probably gonna have like some kind of way to kind of clear their name or just kind of.
But if they're not, like, we need to know.
Yeah,
if
but
they're not.
yeah,
if
we need
not,
to prove that
we need
they
to
are.
know
They're
that they're
not.
not.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah, because that would be like obviously like
immoral.
Crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
So here's a little clip. This is the Trump administration going before the United States Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit. So this is them arguing why they didn't comply with the TRO, pretty much.
If there was the slightest question in the minds of the authors of the Constitution or contemporaries concerning the constitutionality of the Alien Enemies Act, it would have appeared. None did.
Yeah, that's the constitutionality of the act. You just finished the sentence for me. My question is, and I think what district court here hasn't called into question the constitutionality of the Alien Enemies Act. It's been upheld, as you said, as a part of the war power. But so that's not the question here. The question is whether the implementation of this proclamation without any process to determine whether people qualify under it. I mean, if there's
so what you're saying here is that they're deporting people and using the Alien Enemies Act, which was used in like the 1700s after like during World War II, and she's saying that the Alien Enemies Act is a lawful like law, but what we need to determine is if you're using the Alien Enemies Act correctly in deporting these people. So she's saying like we need to understand if this law is being applied correctly to the people that you're deporting.
Yeah.
If the government says we don't have to give process for that.
Due process.
Then y'all could have picked me up on Saturday and thrown me on a plane.
Right.
Thinking I'm a member of Tren de Aragua and giving me no chance to protest it and say somehow it's a violation of presidential war powers for me to say, excuse me, no, I'm not. I'd like a hearing. You wouldn't say that.
Your Honor, obviously nothing of the sort is
okay. By the way, you can, if you want to listen to this entire thing, go ahead and listen to it. You can look up the United States Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit. This was streamed 6 days ago. It's almost 2 hours long. What were you gonna say?
Who answers to this?
What do you mean?
Who would answer to it? Like if they get investigated and they find out that they didn't go through the proper way of finding out whether these people are, being correctly deported or not, who's going to be in trouble? Who's going to get charged?
That's a hard question.
Right.
Because like at that point, it's like the executive branch versus the judicial branch. And the Constitution only works if everybody's playing by the same rules, right? So like, if like a judge, which is like a part of the judicial branch, if they order something to the executive, like if they say you have to stop doing what you're doing, and the executive branch just says no, at that point, like that's like at that point you would be in a situation where the executive branch is just defying the judicial branch, and at that point, like what is the judicial branch there for anymore?
Right.
Like at that point, like the judicial branch could theoretically like send in like the U.S. Marshals and sign like arrest warrants.
Right.
But the U.S. Marshals are under the executive branch, under the president. I wasn't under the so the president could theoretically just say, you're not going to comply with these. You're not going to comply with this because I'm the what is it? The commander in chief.
Yeah. So it's basically just
So the Constitution only works if everybody plays by the same rules, and if once the executive branch doesn't play by the same rules and says no to the judicial branch or to the legislative, then at that point, like
so it's just pointless.
What are you gonna do now?
Yeah,
like,
it's just pointless
we're
when people
fucked at that
do
point.
it. Yeah, wow.
Because there's no what is it called? Separation of powers.
That's really awful.
And yeah.
Thoughts? Any?
All right, I want to play this last one real quick.
Nothing? Nothing at all? You don't have an opinion?
Not
Okay.
under withholding of removal process or remove of the ordinary INA removal.
The Title VIII process. Yes, Your Honor. But I think the fact is that 5 individual plaintiffs were able to march into court, file habeas, actually get relief, admittedly on non-habeas grounds. And the fact that opportunity.
Habeas, they're referring to a habeas corpus,
Habeas corpus.
which is getting due process pretty much, which is getting a hearing.
The government, I mean, that was a super fast order that was done, as you know. I mean, the government was called and notified.
And what she's saying right here is nobody's getting due process here. Like the people that are being deported,
Yeah, they're
like
not.
we don't
They're
even know.
just
We don't know if
just
they're
getting thrown on
who
a
you
plane
say they
and
are.
sent away.
Yeah, they're just being thrown on a plane to El Salvador.
And then a hearing that afternoon, but that's one of the reasons there's all these separate disputes in district court about compliance, because planes were already loading and taken off. And those folks did not have notice or an opportunity to challenge their status at all. And that's why there's had to be a class certification to slow things down until we have an opportunity for due process.
Your Honor, I think this court's decision in IM versus CBP is instructive on this.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty crazy. I don't know if you've heard about like them trying to deport green card holders.
Yeah, I did hear about
Did you
that.
hear about that?
Yeah. I think it's,
And that as me as a green card holder,
yeah,
it's kind of scary.
it's ridiculous. I mean, you know, because you talk about doing things the right way. Well, these are people that did things the right way, or at least tried to.
Literally, bro. Like
And-
they're literally green card hold. They're literally permanent residents, dude.
And that's what it should be. It shouldn't be, you know, like everybody send them back. But, you know, there's a way of getting into this country, of becoming a permanent citizen of this country. And the people that are trying to do that the right way, to send them, to just turn your back on them and try to send them back, is just really ridiculous in my opinion. Because it's like, what do you really stand for? And this is why, you know, my take on politics is I don't really like politics too much. I don't really like enjoy like the topic of it, because I mean, it just, to me, at the end of the day, it's just these dudes doing whatever the hell they want, and just it's turned to me, and it seems like they have zero regard for the actual population of their country. 'Cause it's like this is part of, you know, of life here, and you're just, I don't know if they realize they're turning people's whole lives upside down.
You know what's crazy to me, bro? You know how, but like before Trump won the election, like all the Republicans and conservatives were like, guys, we're not a democracy, we're a constitutional republic. You know, the majority doesn't rule everybody. And now as soon as Donald Trump won the popular vote and the electoral college, you know what they started saying? We're a
opposite.
democracy.
Yeah.
Donald Trump has a mandate from the people. The people voted for this. Like,
Yeah.
God, they're such hypocrites, dude. Oh my God.
That's what I'm saying. Like, politics is just, to me, just really hypocritical.
It's
and
actually so annoying.
it just really, it's the back and forth, and it never ends, and that's really bothers me, because it's like I asked. I mean, they're just gonna do whatever they want regardless, and that's a really shitty thing. It's really shitty to hear, just to figure it to learn about that.
Yeah. So pretty much, in like the green card stuff, do you know like the story about it?
Not the entire story.
Okay, so pretty much the Trump administration detained this anti-war student that had a green card. So he's a legal permanent resident. His name was Mahmoud Khalil. And they claimed that he had ties with Hamas, but they have provided no evidence. And as far as I know, to this day, he hasn't been charged with any crime.
Wow.
So they say he also committed immigration fraud, and that's one of the reasons, or that's the reason why he faces deportation, even though Khalil had been initially arrested under a rarely used provision in immigration law, where the Secretary of State, who is Marco Rubio, has the authority to deport someone if it's determined that the person would have serious adverse foreign policy consequences for the United States. So the Department of Homeland Security said that Khalil, quotes, led activities aligned to Hamas, a designated terrorist organization, in his activism at Columbia University. So pretty much they are, this is obviously a violation of your First Amendment right, your freedom of speech, regardless of how you feel about the Palestinian-Israel war or whatever. You have the right to engage in protest, and not only that, but they haven't charged him with anything, and they haven't provided any evidence of his ties, so-called ties with Hamas. And so apparently they deported him to Indiana. I think they deported him to Indiana, from, I forget from where. Where was Columbia University? He goes to Columbia University, and they deported him to Indiana because they have a favorable judge over there.
Wow.
So, and apparently his lawyers are trying to stop that deportation, or trying to get him back to like where he was arrested.
That's wild. That's actually so wild.
Like, what do you think about that, honestly?
That's ridiculous.
Like,
I mean,
weren't conservatives and Republicans, like, weren't they like the free speech absolutists?
yeah, it was like,
Onto that.
you know, I mean, because I mean, there's radical on both sides, but I mean, yeah, that was like free speech and you know, just pushing for a proper procedure to do things. They were like, everyone needs to do things a proper way, and now it looks like they're the ones cutting corners, you know.
It's actually dude, I can't like just like, oh my god, like just imagine if like I said, just imagine if Joe Biden had done this.
Right.
Just imagine if Joe Biden had deported, or was threatening to deport a green card holder.
Yeah.
And they tried to deport another green card holder. Her name, what's her name?
I mean, they try to, you know, just blow everything up and just start over, because that would be like the most insane thing to them if someone else did it. But since it's their guy doing it, it's just like it's okay, right? But that, I guess that's the way it goes. I mean, if it's your guy, you know, you're fine with it. But at the end of the day, you got to think about whether it's morally right and morally wrong.
Yeah.
You know, where these people are trying to do things properly, trying to respect and trying to be respectful and mindful of, you know, the process, and here you are cutting corners and trying to cut their process off totally.
Yeah, so they were literally trying to deport another girl who's also a green card holder, with the same like law, and they were saying that during a press conference about Khalil, the first guy, Marco Rubio said that the government would, quote unquote, kick out green card holders who participate in such demonstrations, which is retarded, stupid.
Yeah,
if you want to charge them with a crime, charge them with a crime. You want to charge them with vandalism, charge them with vandalism.
Exactly.
The idea that a green card holder is going to get kicked out and deported because you don't like what they protest is the violation of your First Amendment.
Violation of the First Amendment.
And that's considering the fact that they're saying that green card holders don't have the same First Amendment rights as citizens.
Wow.
Which is obviously not true.
That's not true. But yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Did you hear about Donald Trump asking the Supreme Court to let them ignore lower court injunctions?
No.
They literally asked, here, let me pull it up. The Trump administration literally asked the Supreme Court. He was like, hey guys, we want you guys to step in because we don't want to listen to all these court orders and we want to ignore them. Can you guys make a ruling on this, please?
What?
So it's here, Trump administration asks Supreme Court to restrict nationwide injunctions, starting with birthright citizenship. So what they're saying is pretty much the Trump administration does not think that judges and courts should be able to issue nationwide injunctions.
Wow.
So the injunctions that judges issued will only affect the people that they're representing.
Wow.
So you're saying, so this is insane, right? Because
that's
you're
really
telling me like,
crazy.
imagine the Trump administration or any administration signs like a insane executive order that says that, I don't know, like something crazy, like that if you're like Hispanic, you are not allowed to like go to a bathroom or something, right?
Yeah.
Like something crazy. You're telling me that every single state, every like judge has to file an injunction for that? You're
That's
telling me every
ridiculous.
single one has
That's
to?
ridiculous.
That's obviously stupid.
That
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense. But yeah.
Johnny, you have any thoughts about this stuff?
I'm gonna use the restroom while Johnny gets gets his thoughts out.
So basically, like the Hawk Tua girl now because
You like her? You like her meme coin?
no, I don't. I don't like her meme coin.
Why not?
Patrick, because it's a dump.
It's a good meme coin.
It's okay. You don't mean that. You don't dickin' mean that because it was just a scam. She's taking advantage of her fans to rug pull and take all their money through this meme coin. She said, "Everyone buy my meme coin," and then private investors and everybody special got all the money, and everybody that got taken advantage of was left with nothing. They got their money taken away, and now you got the president of the United States doing the same thing. So it's like, who's taking responsibility here? No one. No one's gonna get like taken accounted for. No one's gonna go to jail. But like, this is really bad illegal shit. You're stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars from people who don't even deserve it.
Is it stealing if they do it on their own accord? If the people
It's
buy it
taking
on their own?
advantage of people that are like probably not that intelligent. Let's be honest. If you're donating to Hawk to a girl, but like
If you're buying Trump's meme coin,
it's like that. Do you justify like stealing from people that are stupid? Like if you see someone drop a wallet and they forget they dropped their wallet, are you gonna keep it?
I think honestly, like Hawk Tua is one thing, but the president is another thing. Like you actually have the president of the United States just like openly doing this.
That's what made me upset though, because I was already mad at Hawk to a girl, and now you got the president doing it. So I was like,
Yeah,
who am I supposed to
pretty
be upset at
bad.
now? The president.
The president is now launching meme coins to enrich himself at the cost of his own supporters. Literally at the cost of his own supporters. He does not give. He doesn't literally doesn't care. Like he doesn't care.
Yeah, he probably doesn't care. But he's supposed to care. I mean, he's the richest. He's supposed to be one of the richest guys around, but he's taken away from people who don't even have that much money. Like people who are investing in this coin probably don't know much about the coin. They probably don't do this. They're just fans of Trump, like average fans that think they're gonna get rich off donating to his coin. But in reality, they're not gonna get rich.
It's true. Yeah.
He's advertising it like, oh, if you could buy into my coin, not even just him, it's his like whole family, right? Like, I don't know, they're really leaning into it, but I just think it's very unnecessary, and it doesn't hurt. Like, I mean, it does hurt his fans. Like, it really does.
I don't think it hurts his fans. They don't. I don't think the people. Dude, I don't think you can like if you're a MAGA supporter right now, if you still support this administration and Donald Trump, like to this day, either number one, you're unaware of what's happening, and you're unaware of like the consequences, and like you don't understand how this is happening and the legality of all this stuff. Or two, or you actually do know everything that's happening, but you are, I think, either like you're so like you've been fed so much like misinformation
Right.
that it's not even like you can't possibly begin to fathom the idea that you might be wrong, or you're thinking you might be wrong, but maybe your like ego is too big to admit that you
Or
might
you're
be wrong.
afraid, yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't know jack about politics. I don't claim to know much about politics, nearly not as much as you. But from a very basic and just very human and grounded point of view, I mean, it just morally, a lot of the things I'm hearing coming from what's going on is really just morally not right, you know? It's just stuff that I'm like, how are people okay with this? Like the same way, like you said, either they've been fed misinformation or they're just really just, I guess, I'm not saying what part fraction or how many who, but there's just probably some people that are just very uneducated and just aren't really are just really taking everything with face value or whatever they hear or whatever they're told. And so it's just really frustrating because we all live here, we all grew up here in this country, and we would want our home to be the best it can be, and it just feels like a lot of people, a lot of groups are fighting against that.
We were talking about the meme coin that Trump launched.
Yeah, that's insane.
And we were saying like it's one thing that Hawk Tua did it, but it's another thing that the president of
that
the
the president
United
of your
States is not
country did
doing
it. Because, I mean, like you said, again, Hawk Tuah, just some random girl. I mean, my take on Hawk Tuah, I just despise everything that she stands for.
I think she actually doesn't. I think I don't know too much about her, but from what I've seen, I think she actually felt bad about the crypto stuff, and I think she did not know what she was doing.
I mean, just in general, just her becoming famous in general. You became famous by saying just some stupid thing online. You got caught on video. It went viral, and all of a sudden, you're trying to make money off of people. A good thing. I mean, it's nice that she felt bad, but I mean, it just kind of sucks that that's the way we are here. Like, people could just get famous for doing literally nothing, putting no work, no effort into it. You agree? I mean, what do you think about that? What do you think about people going viral for absolutely nothing? There was no talent, no effort. She put no work into that. I mean, it's just kind of frustrating, Like,
Happened, huh?
yeah, because there's people that work their butts off every single day of their life, slave away, and they don't get nearly the kind of traction or positive feedback that someone online got for being kind of silly online.
It is kind of crazy how big of a following Haley Welch got, like, for that, just some basic thing. Like, you could just really say anything and get famous for it nowadays. It's really different.
Exactly.
And it's just really upsetting that after gaining all those followers from that, unfortunately she took advantage of them.
She took advantage, and that's exactly what Donald Trump did. He saw the momentum that he had, and he saw the support he had.
Took advantage.
He was like, I'm gonna take advantage of you motherfuckers. I don't care about you guys.
Yeah,
and
it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, this all stuff all this stuff that's happening right now is being normalized. Like the defying of the court orders and the TROs, them not listening is absolutely insane. But like, people are downplaying it. Like, what's happening right now is crazy.
Right.
Like, people think that people would be like, the reason, he's not defying court orders. The reason why he didn't listen to the court order is because they know that they don't have to listen to the court order. That's not how that works.
That's not how
you
it
have
works.
to listen, even if you don't like the court order, even if you think the court order is wrong, you have to listen to the court order.
Exactly.
By the way, they're appealing all the TROs, when normally TROs are not appealable. You can't appeal a temporary restraining order. That's why it's called temporary restraining order.
Yep.
So usually they're not appealable, but the Trump administration does whatever they want. So
yeah, it's a really frustrating time, and I guess it looks like it's only getting started, right?
Also, I'm pretty sure the Trump administration and the meme coin, I'm pretty sure they offered. You know who Kash Patel is? He's a director. I think he's the director of the FBI.
I think I've heard his name.
He was nominated by Donald Trump to be the director of FBI. I'm pretty sure they offered him a certain percentage of the meme coin.
What?
Which is fucking crazy.
That's bribe. That's
You're
bribing.
literally
You're
trying to gift $1 million or whatever, however much it is.
Monetary value for an exchange of services.
Oh, we have to get to that. Hold on. That actually already happened.
Wow.
Which is insane. That actually already happened in the Trump administration. We can get to that.
What?
But just imagine the president, the Trump administration, Donald Trump, offering to give the director of the FBI a percentage that holds monetary value to
That's actually unfathomable. I mean, who in their right mind would let that happen, right?
Yeah, who in their right mind would let that happen?
Who in their right mind is just okay with this and just hears about this and is this is fine, this is cool.
Okay,
Kind of wild.
And so that actually happened already, by the way. Have you heard about the Eric Adams thing? The DOJ, Trump administration,
Nah.
Eric Adams,
Who's Eric
New York
Adams?
mayor.
He's the mayor?
He's the mayor. So the DOJ, Trump's DOJ ordered prosecutors to drop charges on Eric Adams for pretty much a quid pro quo. And so apparently Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City, was charged with extortion, I believe. No, it was fraud, I believe. It was campaign fraud and taking gifts from foreign leaders, I think. And so the prosecutors indicted him for it. And by the way, I just want to say, federal indictments they have about like a 95% conviction rate. So when the
Wow.
federal government is indicting you, they probably have a really good case against you.
Yeah.
And the DOJ ordered the prosecutors. They ordered them to drop the charges on Eric Adams without prejudice, meaning that if they want, the Trump administration can bring the charges back if they want. So
What?
and they asked the attorneys, they asked the prosecutors to drop the cases, and they went one after another. So they asked one person, she resigned. I believe her name was something Sassoon. And she resigned, saying absolutely not. And they were asking them to drop the charges, and they didn't even consider the evidence or the merit of the case, of the actual indictment.
Wow. That's ridiculous.
That's crazy. And I'm pretty sure over 4 attorneys resigned because of them asking them to drop the charges on him. And by the way, dude, it's so crazy to me because you'll have Eric Adams go on Tucker Carlson, and Tucker Carlson will be like, I saw the indictment, it doesn't make any sense, like, this is crazy. But like, dude, like people will watch that and think, wow, yeah, they really got him like for like some bad, like, this is totally unfair, totally unjustified. Like, just like people just don't understand, like people don't actually read into like the actual like details of it.
Yeah.
And so they think that he's being prosecuted on like political motivations. That's not the reality of
They're
it.
not paying attention. Yeah.
And so we have, who Tom Homan is? Tom Homan is the border czar. He's on camera, pretty much extorting Eric Adams on camera. I'll show it to you right now.
Wow.
Okay, hold on. Let me read to you the actual. Okay, so real quick. Okay, so here it is. Beauvais. Beauvais is the one that is. I think he's a deputy attorney general. Beauvais.
Yeah.
He's asking the attorneys. He's saying that Beauvais is the guy that's asking them to drop the case. He's saying Beauvais said the order was not based on the strength of evidence in the case, but rather because it had been brought too close to Adams' re-election campaign. It was distracting from the mayor's efforts to assist in the Trump administration law and order priorities.
Oh my God.
So this is a literal quid pro quo.
Yeah.
Like they're
The
not even hiding.
definition.
They're not even hiding it.
Oh.
And so there's you can look at this online for the attorneys that resigned when they asked them to drop the case. It was a pretty insane, like, what they wrote to the Justice Department, to the Attorney General. They were like, what you're doing is, like, this is insane. We're not dropping these charges. Like, when I was, elected to this position or whatever, I'm here to serve, like, the Constitution.
oath, yeah.
And I would never drop these charges. And one of the attorneys was like, if you had asked me to drop these charges, I would not have done it. But I'm sure enough you'll find a fool to drop the charges soon enough.
Wow.
Like, but it was never gonna be me, he said.
That's heavy.
Like, it was never gonna be me, but I'm sure enough. Like, eventually you're gonna find a fool that's partisan enough to drop these charges for you.
That's heavy.
And I'm gonna play a little video here of not the Trump of what's his name? Of
Eric Adams.
yeah, it's literally Eric Adams and Tom Homan, the border czar. Like, just watch this, dude. It's insane.
Are you ready for the movie?
All right, check it out.
Severe. And if he doesn't come through,
You're up early anyway.
if he doesn't come through, I'll be back in New York City, and we won't be sitting on the couch. I'll be in his office, up his butt, saying, "Where the hell is the agreement we came to?" So,
And I want ice to deliver. And I want ice to deliver. We're going to do.
If he doesn't come through, I'm gonna be back in New York City extorting him,
Wow.
because we're dismissing the charges without prejudice, so we can bring them up again. If he
That's
doesn't
crazy.
want us to- if he doesn't fucking listen to us.
That's actually wild.
And they did. I'm pretty sure they did end up finding an attorney or prosecutor to drop the charges. So yeah, like, I mean, all this stuff is like out in the open now. Like, nobody cares. But like, this stuff is just like being normalized now. Nobody cares about this stuff, which is upsetting to me.
Yeah,
Actually upsetting to me.
I understand. I mean, like I said, it's like they're just doing whatever they want with no kind of repercussions or none at least that we could see.
Yeah,
A lot
no,
of people
I think
just worried about their own pockets, and that's just really frustrating.
Yeah, no, I think I don't know. I just feel like people like what's happening now is like everything is being so normalized and it's setting such a bad precedent that like when the executive branch is like violating court orders, like that doesn't happen.
Nope.
And now it's like you're setting a precedent for other presidents to do what you're doing.
Yeah.
Into signing unconstitutional executive orders like the birthright citizenship one, which is obviously unconstitutional. There's no question about that.
No, not at all.
But like you're setting these like precedents. You're setting this precedent that like, well, you know, by the way, I just want to say Donald Trump did this one time and they didn't do nothing about it, so therefore maybe I can do it too.
Exactly.
Which is honestly, and for the people that aren't into politics, I honestly think that you should be into politics just a little bit. I think you should care, not to the point like where you're like, you know, every day or whatever, but just have like some sort of like maybe like I don't know, like opinion on it, you know?
An opinion.
Yeah, just like follow it a little bit. I don't know, because I feel like it's important, you know.
It is.
I think it's important to a certain extent.
Yeah, I guess like for someone like me, I'm not really into politics. It's just it feels kind of I feel powerless. It feels kind of pointless because at the end of the day, it just feels like they're just gonna do whatever they want, and so it just feels like there's really almost nothing I can do, especially
It
at
does
this
feel
point.
like that way, yeah.
Yeah, so it just really it's more frustrating from in that sense, in that point of view, because it's like what can I even do that's gonna affect change? Because there's really, you know, I'm just some guy, and I feel like a lot of the population that's not into politics just kind of feels that way. It's just like what can we really do about it? They're just gonna do
Yeah, no,
whatever
I
they
agree.
want. I don't know what's your take on that. Which side are you on?
Or do you think that people should be like into politics or no?
Yeah, I think.
You think people should care?
People should at least care a little bit. Yeah, I think that's a good take that you got. Like, if you're not gonna be fully into it, you should at least have like some sort of opinion on it.
I think opinions are good, but I come across like some people that have strong opinions
Well,
about things.
educated opinions, right?
Yeah. I think you
Knowing
should
what
have-
you're talking about.
Yeah. Do you know what an ultra crepidarian is?
No, that I've never even heard of that word.
So it's pretty much somebody who speaks about a topic that they know nothing about.
Right,
And I think a lot of people do that nowadays.
for sure.
And it's kind of like frustrating
It's really frustrating,
because it's like you're telling me
especially
it's like here, let me like a good
Yeah.
example. Like imagine you're reading a book, right?
right.
And somebody comes up to you and says, "That's a bad book, bro." And you're like, all right, well, I mean, like, have you read the book? And they're like, no, but just look at the picture on the cover of it.
Right.
And you're like, but like, I mean, you haven't read the book. Like, have you read like the cover of the backside cover of the book? And they're like, no. It's like, okay, well, have you like read like an article about the book? No. It's just like you have like an opinion on this, but you haven't you haven't
You're
done
taking it
like you
for
literally
face
haven't
value.
done any
Exactly.
like you haven't read the first page, you
Not at
haven't
all.
read the cover of the book, you haven't read an article about the book. Like, how can you have an opinion about this? You know what I mean?
I agree. I actually agree with that take. There's a lot of people out there like that. Just people that just form opinions based on what's fed to them or what they hear, and they really have no knowledge on the subject. And there is a lot of that going around, for sure.
Yeah. It's pretty bad, I think. I think right now, like with all the internet we have now, I think it's a lot harder to get into like a bad media sphere. I think a lot of people, a lot of good people and smart people are just getting the wrong news. Like they're just getting they're just in a really bad media environment, I think. And that makes them think
I hear that for sure.
like things that are just not necessarily true. And it's hard to like once you believe that, it's hard to not believe it. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to like take them out and what is it? Like just like make them see that they might be wrong, you know?
Right.
What do you think about that, Johnny?
I agree.
Do you think a lot of people are misinformed on stuff?
Definitely.
Do you think you should have a strong opinion on something if you haven't read into it?
Definitely not. If you're gonna have an opinion on politics, it should probably be an educated one.
Right.
You know, just to make sure, like, you're not saying anything that's not true, because then you're gonna spread misinformation,
and it's gonna blow up in your face, right?
That's ultimately not healthy. You know.
You know
Exactly.
what's crazy? Like all the Elon Musk stuff. You know how you guys know that Elon Musk said that there were like hundreds of thousands of people that were over the age of 150 that were getting Social Security benefits.
No.
So he said on Twitter that there are like hundreds of people that were over the age of 150 years old, like some of them 300 years old, that are getting Social Security benefits. And he tweeted this out, and people believed it, dude. People believed it.
They just believe what they see on the internet.
I think I can pull it up here.
I mean, yeah, but that is crazy. I mean, like especially if it's something, you know, like how Patrick's passionate about it. It's like if I came in here and started telling him what's what when I don't even know jack, you know. And this guy's like studied it and he's very interested in it.
Oh yeah, I follow politics pretty hard right now. Just because, like, number one, I do enjoy following politics, and if you don't enjoy following politics, then following politics is just like, it would just be so like boring. I think either boring or just like so tedious for you. Like, there's just no point. Like, if you don't like politics, there's just no point in following it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe follow like the election or like just like the main like basic stuff.
That's me.
But like, yeah, if you don't like politics, it's just like, it's just gonna be so like, what's the word, like, I don't know if it's like annoying or like just like you're not like interested in it. It's just like boring, you know?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
What do you think about that?
I agree.
You agree with that?
It felt like kind of like you had a little tidbit to drop for us, a little drop of knowledge. No, something.
No.
Okay. Perfectly fine.
Okay, so here we have a report from the AP, I believe. How big of a problem is Social Security fraud? A July 2024 report from Social Security's Inspector General. Inspector General states that from fiscal years 2015 through 2022, the agency paid out almost $8.6 trillion in benefits, including $71 billion, or less than 1% in improper payments. Most of the erroneous payments were overpayments to living people. By the way, you guys know how like they're saying that they're finding a bunch of waste, fraud, and abuse, which they haven't yet.
No.
Like here you have literally a report, right, from the Inspector General. By the way, and the Inspector General. So you're telling me that there are people that look at fraud, waste, and abuse, and these are people. These are Inspector Generals. So we already have people in the government that look for this stuff.
Yeah,
and it's already being reported in right here in the July 2024 report. People literally think that Elon Musk is uncovering stuff that has never been uncovered.
Wow,
which is not true. Like we already have like Inspector Generals are there to monitor and to audit like the agencies that they oversee and make sure that nothing bad is happening.
Right.
And right here you can see from an Inspector General report that $71 billion or less than 1% were improper payments. But let's see. So are tens of millions of people over 100 years old receiving benefits? No. Part of the confusion comes from Social Security's software system based on the COBOL programming language, which has a lack of date type. This means that some entries with missing or incomplete birth dates will default to a reference point to more than 150 years ago. Additionally, a series of reports from the Social Security Administration Inspector General, and again, we have people that do this stuff. They're called Inspector Generals. In March of 2023 and July 2024, state that the agency has not established a new system to properly annotate death information in its database, which included roughly 18 million Social Security members. Social Security numbers that of people born in 1920 or what? Or 1920 or earlier, but were not marked deceased. This does not mean, however, that these individuals were receiving benefits. Let's say here a July 2023 Social Security Office of Inspector General, another report that we have from an Inspector General, not Doge, states that almost none of the number holders discussed in the reports currently receive Social Security payments. And as of September of 2015, the agency automatically stopped payments to people who are older than 115 years old. So all that stuff that Elon Musk was saying, that people over the age of 150, 300 years old were receiving payments and benefits, it was a lie.
Wow. Speaking of Elon, did I read somewhere that Twitter was bought, or X was bought by his own AI?
Yeah.
How does that work? He got bored or what?
I haven't looked into that, but as far as I know, like I don't know. I'm guessing like maybe it makes him easier. Maybe that makes it easier for him to implement some like AI stuff into X, since it's the same company now.
I don't know. That's a dude.
I don't know.
That's a dude that I don't know. He just has way too much money. Way too much money, way too much power, and just, I don't know.
What do you think about Elon, Johnny?
He does whatever he wants.
Do you like him?
I mean, I don't know at this point. Who knows?
Literally, I literally don't even know.
One of the last things I wanted to talk about was two things. One of the things was, did you see when Trump said that a judge should be impeached for his rulings?
No, I didn't see that. Most of it, like I'm telling you, most of the stuff I don't even follow.
So Trump was literally calling the impeachment for a judge for not liking some of his for not liking his ruling.
Not liking Trump's ruling?
No,
Or
for not liking
Trump didn't like the judge's ruling.
Yeah,
And so
exactly.
he called
And
for the
went
judge to be
on-
impeached.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then, which is
It's kind of
in and
ridiculous.
of itself crazy.
Yeah.
For the president of the United States,
Yeah.
calling for a judge to be impeached for partisan reasons.
For not liking his opinion.
Exactly.
Or, yeah.
To the point, it was so crazy to the point where the Chief Justice of the United States, Justice Roberts, made a statement. He came out and made a statement, which never happens. But he came out and had to make a statement about it because, what he said was crazy. So he said, Roberts said in a rare and brief statement, let me see. For more than 2 centuries, it has been established that impeachment is not an appropriate response to disagreement concerning a judicial decision. The normal appellate review process exists for that purpose. By the way, Roberts is a conservative judge.
Wow.
Okay, he's a conservative judge, and the fact that he has to come out and say this is already in and of itself crazy. Last thing I wanted to talk about that involves politics is the tariffs that we are doing with our allies,
Like who?
like Canada and Mexico and all of the European Union. What do you guys think about that? Should we be bullying them? Should we be threatening to take Greenland?
Not our allies. No.
You know that
doesn't make sense.
Do you know that, dude? I can't believe. Do you think that if they invaded Greenland, do you think that if the Trump administration invades Greenland, do you think that the MAGA people would support it, or do you think they would lose support?
They would support it.
You think so?
They follow blindly.
I think you're right. I don't think there's anything the Trump administration can do at this point. If you know if you know this stuff and you agree with it, I don't think at this point there's nothing Trump can do that would make you lose your support for him.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they literally, they were trying to go to. By the way, a lot of people think that people from Greenland want to be taken over by the United States because they see a YouTube video.
They believe that?
Yeah, but there was a poll done in Greenland that was over 85% of the people said no.
That's and
And
it makes sense.
they had to cancel.
Would you? Yeah. No.
They had to cancel what is it? Not a meeting, but a visit to Greenland for JD Vance's wife, because they went from door to door to Greenlanders asking if they wanted to see them, and everybody said no, and so they had to cancel the meeting, the visit.
What language do they even speak in Greenland? I actually want to know.
It's Denmark, right?
Danish. They
Danish,
speak Danish
yeah.
in Greenland. Sounds about right.
The fact that we're bullying Canada, by the way, for apparently fentanyl coming across the border, which is non-existent pretty much. The justification for putting tariffs across the border on Canadian products is that there's a lot of drugs, there's a lot of fentanyl coming from the border, which is not true at all. It's
False?
so negligent. It's I think it's 40 pounds
Wow.
in a year or something like that. On the Mexico side, it is a lot. It is a lot on the Mexico side, but for Canada, the justification for that is not there.
No. Wow.
It's not there. And everybody if you know what tariffs do, it's not a good policy whatsoever. Do you know what a tariff is?
I'm gonna say no, just so you can
Pretty
give,
much no.
just
It's
so you can give the
super,
full
it's super easy.
explanation.
Yeah, no, super easy. It's so tariff is a tax on companies inside the country that are importing product. So if you have a company in the United States and the administration or the government puts a tariff on, let's say, metal that's coming from Canada, if you're a company that imports metal from Canada, the country that's importing it has to pay that tax to the government. And so what that does is not only does it raise the cost for consumers, because the company is not going to eat all that up. They're going to have to charge more for the metal
to pay for it.
And that's going to charge, and metal is used in a lot of things in the United States. So that's going to jack up a lot of things. No, I'm pretty sure there's a few things that tariffs are known to do, which is create inflation, job losses, slower GDP, less efficiency, because like as you start charging like American companies for more like taxes, they're gonna invest less because they have to take in the cost more, and so that's gonna slow our GDP. As prices rise, that's inflation, which is gonna slower people buying stuff, which is gonna slow our GDP. And now, like, but there's a reason like why some products are made outside of the United States. Because number one, it's cheaper, and number two, it allows the United States to focus on more important things, like technology. Like the reason why the United States is so great is because of like places like Silicon Valley, places like LA, places like New York, places like Austin.
For sure.
Like these are the places that focus on
Growth.
Like these are the places that have the most economic output, and it's the technology industry, right? But what they want to do is bring back jobs, like manufacturing jobs that we do not need, right? We don't need these jobs.
No.
We don't want to be working in a factory line. That's not what we want.
That's not what people want. Yeah.
And Ben Shapiro used to be so like against the tariffs like during Trump's first administration. And granted, the tariffs are nowhere near like
As bad
as they are now. And Ben still does not like the tariffs, but he's so much softer on them now.
Wow.
He's so much softer on them now, and it's so frustrating. Yeah. Yeah, but what do you guys think?
It's ridiculous. I mean, it's bad for everybody. As far as it sounds.
Yep.
And
Also, I want to point out that Donald Trump says that we've been getting ripped. Have you guys like seen like Donald Trump saying we've been getting ripped off by all these countries? And by the way, Donald Trump literally thinks that a trade deficit means that we're like subsidizing a country. Like if we're importing more than we export, then he literally thinks that we're subsidizing the country.
Oh, wow.
When it literally just means that we import more because our products are more expensive.
Yeah.
So other countries don't export our products as much because what we make is expensive, right?
Yeah.
Because our currency is so valuable.
Right.
But he literally thinks that we're like somehow like paying them money, like just giving them money.
Wow.
Like, and these are the people that think that Donald Trump is so smart, dude. Like,
Yeah.
how does he think this stuff?
And they just buy it.
And he literally says all this stuff, talking about how we've been getting ripped off and all this stuff, when he was literally the one that renegotiated NAFTA, which is UMCA, like the United States Mexico Canada agreement.
Yeah.
He was the one that renegotiated that during
Yeah.
his last term. So if you want to blame anybody, you're blaming Donald Trump.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't know if you heard, but like Canada is now saying that, like this came out like a couple days ago, I think, that our past relationship with the United States is over, and like, dude. Like we're literally getting in fights with like our closest allies for no reason. For no reason, and
Just
nobody
being
cares,
silly.
bro. Like
Yeah.
they literally like the Trump supporters were literally championing this stuff.
Yeah, they think that it's like the best thing ever.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah, but I just have to get that off my chest, you know.
Understandable.
What do
for
you
sure.
guys you guys have anything you guys wanted to talk about?
I like Canada.
You like Canada? I want to go to Canada.
I think we should be
too.
nicer to Canada.
I think we should
agree.
be nice to Canada too. I
I
mean,
think
they're
we
our
should, too.
closest. They're one of our closest allies. I think they're our biggest exporter, right behind Mexico and then China. I think,
Wow.
or importer. Now we're like openly bullying them. So,
It's terrible.
and we're
They
bullying everybody besides like bullying everybody besides Russia.
Besides Russia, because they're scared of
Literally,
Russia.
yeah,
He's
we're
scared of
literally
Russia.
bullying everybody besides Russia. What happened? The war's not ended. What happened to? He was gonna end the war on day one. What happened to that?
It just
War
makes-
hasn't ended yet.
It makes us look
What happened to the
weak.
ceasefire in Israel?
It makes us look pathetic. It's bad for everyone.
Yeah, but like I said, you can literally tell like everything I've been talking about. You can lay all this stuff out, and the other side will be like, huh, "Oh yeah,
They'll just deny it.
let me tell you something about DEI.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something about woke."
Yeah.
Like, bro, like all this stuff is happening, and here I am sitting like, what the fuck? Like, were you guys so worried about Kamala, bro?
Yeah.
Like, what the like? Were you guys really worried about like?
Just making it not about the politics, they're making it about personal stuff, and it's
I tell you this much: this stuff wouldn't be happening if Kamala Harris was president.
Wow.
Like, the insanity wouldn't be happening.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, I don't know. Do you guys think that, or?
Well, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. I'm not very studied on politics, but I mean, so I don't really know what Kamala would have brought to the table. But
And people
from
literally say like,
what it
you
sounds like,
literally
it's pretty bad right now. So
Yeah.
I mean, how much worse could it have been?
You could literally ask them why don't you like Kamala, and they'll be like, I just don't like her. she just gives off a vibe that I do not like. And it's like, okay, bro, like,
Yeah.
is that really the reason? And here I can name Trump, like bad things from Trump.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you don't like government intervention? Oh, look at all this stuff right here. Oh, you don't like government spending and raising the budget? Oh, they're just trying to pass the debt ceiling, $4 trillion. Oh, you don't like you like freedom of speech? Oh, here they are trying to deport fucking Venezuelans without due process and targeting law firms and trying to deport green card holders.
Wow.
What about that? You can literally go off, and they'll be like, I don't care.
Yeah. It's actually insane.
What do you think about that, Johnny? You think that's true?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, it could have went either way with her, you know. Like, we don't know, but like, what we do know is like
What we do know is happening. What's happening?
What's
right
happening
now?
now?
And I was gonna say like the history behind like these people that are running for like president. Like, they have history.
Right.
We gotta look at we gotta compare the history between Donald Trump and Kamala, and we gotta it's like no contest, you know.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah, our political, it's like just like so memeish right now. Like, it's just vibes right now. I think
That's
just like it's just like, oh my god, Donald Trump is owning the liberals right now. Like, let's vote for him because they like when he like owns the liberals, the libs.
That's how I see politics. I just see like a huge meme. It's just like I said. And I'll reiterate, you know, just people doing whatever. They just do whatever they want. It's just old ass petty men just doing whatever they want.
And this is coming from someone, me, who was like a Republican, like a conservative. But it's just like I can't support this stuff, bro.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah,
like,
just
no.
like reading it or just hearing it.
Yeah, no.
And seeing it, it's just crazy.
So what have you guys been up to? What have you been up to, Johnny?
Not much.
Not much.
Not much.
Chilling.
How long have we had on here, anyways? I just want to
Like an hour.
That's it. I feel like it's been longer. It's been only an hour. It's been an hour and 16. I don't know how much longer you guys want to go for, but we can go for however much longer you guys want.
I mean, yeah.
So we've been watching a lot of anime recently.
You watch
And,
anime, Johnny?
I watch anime.
What kind of anime are you into?
Dragon Ball.
That's the only anime.
That's the only anime you watch?
That's a really good anime.
That's
not
a
gonna
really-
lie.
I mean, I don't watch anime at all.
You watch
You should
Invincible though.
start with Dragon Ball.
Wait, you
watch
watch?
Invincible.
You literally, dude. If you literally watch Invincible and you watch like Avatar: The Last Airbender, like there's no reason for you not to get into anime.
I just really liked it.
There's no reason, bro. And I hear Invincible. The first season of Invincible. I will tell you this. Natalie's gonna disagree with me on this. Invincible is better than JJK.
I don't know. I've never
And
seen JJK.
if she sees this, she's gonna lose her mind. Okay, but
Why wouldn't
Invincible is
have you
better
said
than
that to her?
JJK.
You
Huh?
watched Invincible?
I've seen the first season. The thing about JJK is it's really cool. The fight scenes are really good, but the story is so mid. I don't even, Johnny, you haven't seen it, huh?
No, I have not seen that.
You guys don't understand what I'm talking about.
Have you
but
seen Invincible?
Unfortunately, no.
Invincible
but I
season
wanna
1 of
see it.
Invincible was
Check
pretty
it
good.
out.
It was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty good.
I actually really liked Invincible.
But I mean, if you've seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, that's like a good example of anime. That's
Oh,
a really
really?
good. That's a really good example of what anime is like. Of what anime can be like. You know what I mean? Because there's an anime for everybody.
The thing about Invincible, and the thing is, I watch for the plot. I watch for the
Watch for the
fight
plot?
scenes.
Yeah, the plot is, I think, the most important. In my opinion, if you like really cool fight scenes and you don't care about the plot that much, animes like Solo Leveling, like JJK, those are the types of animes that you're probably gonna like.
Wow.
But if you like story a lot, because I feel like the thing with JJK is like every episode is a fight scene, and so like when the important fight scenes happen, it's not
It
as
just
like
blends.
it's not as important. You know, it doesn't like it's not as emotional
Yeah.
as other fight scenes. You know.
Yeah, it doesn't hold the weight that
Yeah.
the others would. Yeah, I mean, I don't really watch anime too much, but I will say I really like Invincible, and yeah, I mean, I recommend it if anyone just wants to watch an animated show about superheroes killing each other. I mean, check it out; it's really good, and I really like the story, and it blends the different characters and different stories pretty well. I really like it. I mean, I had a lot of hate on the animation. I'm not a huge animation buff, so I can't really speak on it. I just know that it was good enough for me, and I'm just some regular dude. So
I heard that like the second and third season had like really good ratings, like 9.9 ratings or something.
second season was okay. Third season was really memorable. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously the first season's great. Third season was really memorable.
What would you say? What was your favorite anime, Johnny? It's Dragon Ball? Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Z Kai.
Dragon Ball Dickin.
Dragon Ball Dickin. Literally, I grew up on Dragon Ball, so I gotta say Dragon Ball. Like,
Dragon
it's my
Ball, I'm
favorite.
pretty
The
sure.
OG.
Yeah. I think Dragon Ball was my first anime ever.
Wow.
Dragon Ball Z Kai was my first anime ever. And I don't know why I don't consider that my first anime, but it is my first anime. Like Dragon
Wow.
Ball Z Kai was my first anime. Like Goku and Vegeta, like their face off. That was my first that was my first memory of anime.
Your
and
first
I didn't
mind-blown
even
moment?
I didn't even know that it was like Japanese. Like I just thought it was a show on.
Yeah.
What was it Nick? Was it Nickelodeon?
Yeah, I remember they aired it on like Nicktoons and on Cartoon Network.
And we used to be like, oh my god, I can't wait for this tomorrow, or like for like next week on Monday. Like it's gonna be here at 4 p.m. and we gotta sit down and watch it.
I chased that feeling of nostalgia.
Yeah.
Things from back when they were. Yeah, I love that.
And so, I don't know. If you haven't seen anime, I think you should give it a chance. You know, there's not a lot. Some animes are super long, like One Piece and like Naruto are super long that I haven't watched. But there are others that are not that long. Like
That's
Death
what
Note.
I think. That's what I like a lot about Invincible, is that it moves along pretty quickly. I mean, it's
episodes.
10 episodes per season,
30
and it's only
episodes.
on season 3, and I feel like we've already covered a lot of ground. Or
Yeah.
I guess I've seen like posts where it's like, oh, you're barely on like this page of book 2 of so and so many books of Invincible, but I mean, I feel like we've covered a lot. I feel like, like if you've seen all 3 seasons, and it's 10 seasons per, or 10 episodes per. I
How long
feel
are
like
the
I've
episodes?
seen a lot. Huh?
How long are the episodes?
40 minutes.
Oh, 40 minutes?
40
Okay, so
minutes?
an average anime episode is 20 minutes.
Hmm.
So, like, a lot of them, like, some, like, anime shows or series will have, like, 24 episodes per season. It depends on, it's like 12 or 24.
I mean, don't
It's
get me
usually
wrong.
either 12 or 24, but the episodes are a lot shorter.
Anime
The
is
20,
huge.
the 20,
Anime is
20 minutes.
Would you say anime is the biggest entertainment?
I don't know.
The biggest form of
I
entertainment.
don't know.
for
I
people?
remember I was telling Johnny earlier that I remember one of the only like animes or shows that crashed the internet was Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball legit crashed the internet.
I know people really like Attack on Titan too, right?
Yeah, but I don't think Attack on
Naruto.
Titan never crashed the internet like Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Super, when Goku went Ultra Instinct, he literally crashed the internet. Like you could literally not watch it anywhere because
Wow.
like you couldn't load the apps. Right, Johnny?
It's true. Yeah, it's true.
That's actually crazy.
That
I
is
mean, that's what I'm
crazy,
saying. Anime is huge. I mean, everywhere you go, there's gonna be one person at least that's watched anime that you'll be able to talk about anime with, and I think that's awesome. I've just never watched anime. Personally.
It's becoming super mainstream now.
Yeah, that's
Like back then,
yeah.
it used to be like
like
it used to be frowned upon watching anime.
You think so?
I think it was like for the nerds back then.
I guess,
nerdy?
but I mean, ever since I was in middle school, I mean, I would see people put on their favorite, like their favorite outfit from their favorite anime.
I remember like
Since middle school, I'm telling you, like people
Yeah.
were like raving about anime all the way through high school,
But I
and
used to
even
think-
now.
Yeah,
people
but I
talk
used to
about
think that
anime
like
still.
I used to think that like people that were watching anime were like weird and nerdy.
Ugh.
But that's just me. Like I don't know. Maybe that's just not everybody. Maybe
I
that's
guess
not everybody.
maybe-
But once I gave it a shot, I thought like, oh wait, I was wrong about
In
this.
middle school, the people that did watch it were weird and nerdy, or like the weird nerdy people watched it, and I guess that's what kind of created that kind of stigma. But I mean, as I've grown up, it's everybody watches anime, not just certain. It's not a certain group of people. It's just a lot of people, different people watch anime.
Yeah.
You got people that that are normal. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
You got normal people that watch anime too.
Yeah.
Imagine, hey, yeah, you don't have to be a freak. You can watch anime too.
Yeah. But
But yeah, I mean, I just never got into it. Any of them. I tried to start My Hero.
My
when I
Hero
was
is
in high
really
school,
long.
and I finished one season. I kind of remember it, but I wasn't really too.
Well,
into it.
dude, if you get to My Hero, you need to finish the second season. Once you hit the second season in My Hero, you'll get hooked.
Wow.
I promise you, season 1 is pretty slow, but it's building, bro.
Why do I have to watch
building.
2 seasons
It's
to
building.
get hooked?
Huh?
I have to watch 2 seasons to get hooked. I guess
Dude, it's just
I
like
guess
that's
anime.
just how it is sometimes with anime.
It's a lot of world building, right?
It's a lot of world building in anime.
characters,
A lot,
of
but not all,
exposition.
yeah, but not all animes are like that. Not all of them are like that. Like some animes, like will have 12 episodes in one season, and they'll hook you immediately. Like one example I could give is Death Note.
Yeah.
Death Note will hook you immediately. Animes like Kaiju Number 8 will hook you immediately. I would say like I think JJK will hook you immediately.
Yeah, because I mean, me personally, I'm a huge when it comes to like Marvel and DC. I'm a huge nerd in that.
Yeah.
And so I guess the thing that I liked about Invincible the world building was already kind of done. I mean, it takes place on Earth, you know, and other planets or whatever, but it doesn't really emphasize the other planets all too much. And it kind of lays the groundwork with, like, you know, there's a Justice League. Not, they don't call it the Justice League, but there's a Superman, there's a Justice League, you know, and you just it's kind of familiar, and I think that's what I like about it. I feel like with anime, you have to really pay attention, and there's like probably obviously a lot of callbacks and stuff.
Yeah, you
right?
kind of do. Yeah, with some animes, you definitely have to pay attention. Yeah,
Like
but like
just-
with like one,
I mean,
like one, if you were to watch One Piece, like I think some like there are filler episodes in One Piece. Like filler episodes are just like, what are they? What do you describe filler episodes as? Just like episodes that are meant to like,
They just don't
Like a bottle
contribute
episode.
yeah, they
to
don't
the
contribute to
story,
the
really.
canon.
It's a story. It's just
To the
like
canon, yeah.
just a random episode, like an off-world episode, I guess you could say.
Yeah, with like big story building animes like One Piece, Naruto, Hunter x Hunter, like you have to like progress the story until you get like
Keep
something
watching.
huge. And like
Yeah.
sometimes like the episodes are tedious and boring,
Yeah.
but like you have to progress them and watch them because they'll contribute eventually. But I feel like that's how Dragon Ball is sometimes. Is that true?
Yeah, there's definitely like a lot of filler and definitely like the original like 90s Dragon Ball Z. For the Kai version, a lot of that was cut out. There was a little bit left in, but like a significant amount was cut out, and like, you know, it needed to be cut a little bit. So that's why I think the Kai version is better. But you know,
The Kai version.
The Kai version, huh?
Yep.
Maybe I'll check it out.
It aired in like the 2000s. The 90s version just had a.
Who's
way
your
too
favorite
much
Dragon Ball
filler.
character?
Goku. Whoa. No, you know it's Goku. You literally have a
I
wallpaper
mean-
of Goku on your phone. I mean, on your computer.
Trunks.
I like Frieza though. Like Frieza's really cool.
Well, he's just
Oh,
badass.
Frieza,
bro.
the
What
freaking-
about?
Yeah, just because he's so
the killer,
savage.
the
It's like-
killer Frieza.
Yeah, I mean everyone likes a good villain, right?
Right. Yeah, I actually do love. I love that everyone does love a good villain, and whatever you do, I mean,
True.
you want the tragic hero, right? Or just like that's kind of how when these villains see themselves as the hero in their own story.
Yep.
You know, you love to see that when they think they're doing the right thing, but you know, wrong way about it.
Yeah, I mean yeah.
But yeah,
You guys want to talk about something else? You guys got something on your mind you want to talk about? Johnny.
he's fucking done.
I think Johnny is
I'm good. I'm
hungry.
getting
Johnny
a little
wants a Big
hungry,
Mac.
yeah.
Johnny wants his
I want
Big
my
Mac.
Exactly, I want my Big Mac. So.
Why don't you just get 2 McDoubles with Mac sauce?
Double
Oh, dude, I was literally telling him about the Jack in the Box app.
What about
You
it?
hooked me up on the Jack
Dude,
app.
do you know about the Jack in the Box? Do you know the deals they got on there?
I have the Jack in the Box.
Dude, the
app.
Jack in the Box app is like they're probably the cheapest fast food restaurant you go to. You know they give you
Well, I
two
mean-
tacos for 99 cents.
Yeah, but they're moose meat. No, I'm just kidding.
Two
No.
dude.
I
That's
love Jack in the
6
Box.
tacos
For
for
$3.
$3, dude.
You'll get full. For
And
$3.
you will get full
You'll
off
get full
that.
for
Like you're
$3.
talking about like a meal. That's a meal, bro.
Yeah, it's a whole meal.
And you can get. I was showing him you can get like a whole ass combo
Yeah.
for like what was it, $6? For $6 you can get a burger. You can get fries. You can get like another side, like 5 mini tacos or whatever, or nuggets, and you get a drink
Love that.
on the app for $6, bro.
Normalize that. That's what America should be to me.
Dude.
Just food all day, every day, and it's inexpensive.
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, the apps are way
Jack in the
cheaper.
Box. So you never had the Jack in the Box app prior.
No, I
to him
just
telling
found
you
out
about
it today. Actually,
Dude, there's
It's
deals
actually
on
there. Dude, there's
Get
so
your
many
get your,
deals.
Get your damn
Real
tacos,
life.
boy.
I cannot
Get your
believe how
tacos.
Dude, I wonder how
Those-
much they make those tacos for, like 10 cents, 5
Yeah,
cents.
I
dude.
love
Probably.
Jack. in the Box.
Like that's how they're able to
That's why they're
sell them for so
yeah.
cheap, dude.
I mean,
Like,
because that's not the standard price, but if you have the app, I mean,
yeah, dude.
and
Like,
it's not hard to
Jack in
download
the
that.
Dick.
It's not. It's probably just because like, oh, you signed up. Now we got your email. We got your contact info, so we can send you promotions and stuff.
Right.
Which probably leads to sales.
Right, which is what they want. But I
Yeah.
mean, they're gonna get it if you keep giving me tacos for $1. You know.
Dude, I can't. Dude, if that taco deal ever freaking disappears, they're gonna hear it from me.
We're gonna riot.
They're gonna hear it from me, man.
We're gonna pull up to Jack in the Box headquarters. We're gonna pull up to Jack's house, and we're gonna be like, "Bring back the taco deal."
Yep. Jack, you better freaking bring back that taco deal, or I'm gonna get
Yep.
you. You know that.
I'm gonna be pissed.
You're
I'm
gonna
gonna
get
be pissed
dickened
they
if you
get
don't
off.
frickin'.
I'm gonna get freaking dickened.
There you go.
How do you guys feel about the cluck sandwich though?
The cluck sandwich.
I've never had it.
Is that the one?
I never
from-
tried it.
Where's that one from?
The-
From Jack in the
The
Box.
Jack in the Box.
I've had it. I
The
had it.
Spicy crispy
It's all
sandwich.
right. I had it. It's all right. I'm telling you, I think I had a sandwich. I'm pretty sure I've had one.
Did you
I've
get
had one
the
from Popeyes.
spicy one though?
Yes, I got the
Okay,
spicy
good.
one. Like I had one from Popeyes, Chick-fil-A, Jack in the Box, and then there was another one. What's that? But I will tell you for sure, the best one in my opinion. And by the way, from Dave's Hot Chicken.
Yeah.
I will still tell you that the best chicken sandwich is Popeyes.
Yeah, for sure.
I will tell you that. By the way, we went to Dave's the other day.
Hands down.
We went to Dave's yesterday. Dave's Hot Chicken, and the tenders and the meat is lacking flavor.
You think so?
It's like it has spice to it, but it feels like I'm eating chicken with just the spice feeling, and I'm missing some type of flavor.
I hear that.
But in my opinion, Wingstop is the number one chicken place, unless you're talking about chicken sandwiches. That's Popeyes. But for wings, in my opinion, it's a Wingstop. In my opinion.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't have like too much competition here. I mean, we have B-dubs, and I mean everything else is not mainstream enough to where it could overthrow Wingstop. I haven't tried anywhere that's like their wings are really better than Wingstop's. I mean, I personal preference the Pan. They have really good wings.
They do. I've been at the Pan for like breakfast and stuff, but never for like lunch or like dinner.
I like the way that they make their wings. They make them like, I don't know. You just got to try them, but I really like that style of wing. Wingstop, yeah, you can't really debate that. I mean, it's just...
The other thing is expensive. Wingstop is still expensive.
So Popeye's chicken sandwich, hands down, best chicken sandwich. I totally agree.
Yeah.
I do want to try Church's, though. I haven't tried Church's. I've heard it's pretty good. Other than that, yeah, Popeyes. I like Dave's. I like the flavor. It's spicy. It's very hot.
Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know.
Like
I do like that they put the coleslaw in there.
It is kind of like Cane's though, in the fact that it gets kind of carried by the sauce.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're purely reliant on how their sauce tastes. You know, their signature sauce, the Cane sauce or the Dave's sauce.
I agree with that.
So it's one of those places. But I mean, you know, there's a time and a place, and I can see myself enjoying it on a Sunday afternoon.
On a Sunday afternoon, you know, my open house got canceled today because they had submitted an offer on the property, so they canceled my stuff. But it's all
Really?
right. Yeah.
Is that good or bad? It's good, right?
It's good for the Asian, yeah, of course.
Oh, it's not good for you.
Well, I mean, it's like neutral, I
Inconvenient,
guess. I don't
probably.
know. Good for them, bad for me, I guess. I don't know.
It sucks.
But yeah, what are you gonna do? You know, nothing you can do about that.
Nothing you can.
But yeah, we've been recording for almost an hour and a half, I think now. You guys have anything you want to say before we close it out?
Cut the shot.
Cut the shot.
You're not even in the shot.
Cut it.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, that's
Johnny,
thing I
you
gotta
want to say any last words?
Johnny's Big Mac.
Any last words?
All right.
Gotta have him back. Thank
Have any
you.
last words?
Thank you very much.
Are we gonna address the fact that we've been gone for a year?
We've been gone for a while. A year? Has it been a year?
I don't think so.
I don't think it's been a year.
been a while,
It's been a good amount of months, but it hasn't been a year. But I'm
Like I
glad.
said, you want to shout anybody out?
Shout out to Tyler Brainer, also known as Malay
Is he gonna watch this
Boss.
podcast?
Yes, he's gonna watch the podcast. He's gonna love it.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching, and we hope to be back soon on maybe a more consistent schedule, but that remains to be seen.
Literally, we will be back very soon.
Literally, we will be back very, very soon.
Thanks
you
for
very
having
much
me,
for watching.
guys, and maybe next time I'll be on camera.
Yeah,
Bye.
and talk more.
Chicken dickin'.
There you go.